Go ahead and fill me in on Blue.
Okay, so I've had Blue since Christmas.
Hmm.
So I feel like he kind of still qualifies as a pandemic puppy. um I guess like everything was going fine. I really don't really have a lot that I can be picky about. It's just that like I live downtown, so potty training him was kind of difficult in the sense where like originally we had like a pee pad on the balcony just until he could hold it a little bit longer, and then we were taking him across the street. But like recently I've noticed like over I would say like within the past 2 months, I've noticed that like I don't know, like when we're walking, he'll just start peeing. And like I get so much anxiety whenever I have to take him out because like he will like I don't know, like in the middle of the sidewalk, he might just pop a squat and start to poop. Or one time like he left a trail of pee from the elevator to the front door of my building. And so just taking him out has become like an anxious mess for me. Like I don't know what to expect anymore.
Hmm.
But other than that, like when he was young, I took him to like puppy obedience. So he knows like sit down, but he does like pull a bit on the leash, and I find that like in the beginning of the walk he'll pull, and I think it's because he's pulling to go to the bathroom, because like after he's gone to the bathroom he doesn't really, he might pull a bit, but I want to say like 10-15 minutes into the walk like he's not really pulling anymore, so I'm not really sure if that's a win or not.
Hmm.
um I wrote stuff down.
Yeah, you're fine.
And then also like I really get anxious whenever people try to greet him on walks because he gets very excited very easily.
Okay.
He'll start like jumping and stuff like that. So I try to, I don't know, I feel like people think I'm a little bit of an asshole when I kind of disregard them on the walk, but I feel like I'm kind of doing them a favor.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't really like jump onto them. And he does it to my roommate too. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I really have to just pull him away to get him back under control. Um, and then let me see.
And what kind of dog is Blue again? What's the breed?
Oh, he's a pit.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, other than that, like I feel like I said, I can't really complain much because he's not like the worst dog I've ever had. He doesn't bark. He's pretty chill. He doesn't have separation anxiety. I feel like that was one of the things that I've worked on the most. Like he's crate trained.
Nice.
He's actually in his crate right now and he's like super chill in there.
Cool.
Um, yeah. Oh, and then another thing is he's crate trained here at home. But I find that whenever I take him to like the groomer or when I brought him to daycare over there with you guys, he does pee in the crate. So I'm not really sure how to fix that problem.
Oh,
That's,
Blue. Oh, okay. I remember Blue.
yeah. Yeah. So he pees in the crate there, but he doesn't pee in the crate at home. So I'm not really sure how to fix that issue if I'm not really there to address it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
How much do you free feed him? Like, do you leave the bowl out and then he'll just eat throughout the day, or how do you feed him?
No, I usually give him about like 10-15 minutes to eat, and he's usually really good about eating.
Mhm. And then how much kibble do you usually like? How many cups does he get for the day?
Uh, it's 2.5 cups a day.
Yeah. Okay. And then how about the water? Is the water free throughout the day, or do you give water certain
Yeah,
times, or how's the
I
water?
get water with meals.
Okay. And how
Unless unless he goes outside, which we have been going out a lot, then he gets like more water.
yeah. Um from here, what I remember is that he came and then they let him out and he didn't do potty anything. They put him in the crate and then he just like just pottied both number one and two. They were like, okay, they cleaned him up and they let him out again later. Um, and then later in the day again he just pooped and peed. He like does it at the same time, and then um he just it was just like the size of like the amount of stools and urine that was coming out was like a lot. It was just like because like we thought like, oh, that was a lot of poop. Like we thought like maybe that was like on us because like did we not let him out or what was that? But then he kept pooping these large amounts. I was like, okay, this is weird. So it could be a few things. He's in a new environment, right? He's stressed. He doesn't want to go outside. So like he's like he doesn't know. It's normal, especially for the evaluation, right? In the crate, he could be stressed to the point where he forces it. He just forces it because he's so stressed, right? Once you start the e-collar training, we're able to fix that here at the daycare because we need to tell him settle down. You can relax, right? Because then if he goes into that heightened of anxiety, I remember he was pretty stressed. I think he whined a little bit, and he was always standing in the crate, right? We like our dogs just to be more relaxed and not so like standing just like stressed, right? So that could have been one thing. At home, maybe he's more comfortable, so there's no need to have to like poop or like there's no anxious behavior there. Doesn't make sense. Um, how often does he need to use the bath? Like
So ever since he started doing the like the peeing while walking, like pooping while walking, I've been taking him out more often. I do it like every 4 hours. And so far he's been really good about it, but I'm a little nervous to extend the time because I don't want to, because he did it today and I was like, but also I was out and about today, so I wasn't able to take him out as frequently as I usually do. But it's about every 4 hours and he's been really good about not doing it.
okay, where did he have his accident today?
Um, on Congress Parkway, actually, like right on Congress and State Street. Like,
Oh, it wasn't in the home.
oh no, no, he never pees. And that's the thing. Like, he never has accidents in the house. I feel like that was the other thing I mentioned. I feel like he doesn't have accidents in the house or in the crate. But once we step outside, I just feel like he thinks it's fair game to go wherever he wants. And so I've been trying to like I was trying to, introduce like maybe I should introduce like a poop command, but it's kind of hard like when he goes and then you think everything's all good and then you get like 10 minutes into the walk and then he's trying to pop a squat again and you're nowhere near grass.
Yeah. How many poops does he do for a walk? Like if you're doing every 4 hours, does he poop every 4 hours?
Um no, so he's probably usually I don't take him usually like our longest walk will probably be in the morning and at night.
Mm-hmm.
So um, he'll poop in the morning and he'll poop at night. And then when I take him out twice, like in the afternoon, he might and he might not. And I usually don't mind it because we're not gonna go on a walk, and I know that we're gonna go out later soon.
Okay. And then what's the kibble you feed him?
I feed him Pro Pack.
Pro Pack. Is that Purina?
No, hold on, I have the bag right here actually. My God, this bag is so heavy. It's this bag.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that brand. Um, Sometimes the amount of protein in some kibbles can be super high that they poop a lot. So like my dog is raw fed, but she can also eat kibble. When
Mhm.
I feed her kibble, she poops more throughout the day. When she's
Mhm.
on raw food, right? For raw food, they give a lot of the nutrients that's appropriate for them. And then some kibbles also have lower protein, right? Sometimes too low protein is bad because then there's a lot of that means there's a lot of fillers, right? But you want like I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head, but there's a certain percentage you want to the point where he won't be thirsty because it's too high protein, and then he won't be pooping so much, right?
Mhm.
So Pro Pack, I'll find that out.
But I'm in the middle of like searching up different foods though. So
Okay.
I know after I finish this bag, I probably won't buy it again.
Yeah. Yeah, we recommend going to Kreiser's pet store. Anything they have is really good food. If you're wanting raw food, some, it can get a little pricey here and there, right? Like Darwin's is good. North Northwestern is good. I'm trying to remember if there's another brand. There's another one. But yeah, I would experiment with the food like you're doing, just seeing how his stools are. For the peeing and walking,
Like it's not even a pop, a squat, and pee. It's like walking and
yeah,
like actual peeing. I'm like, what is happening?
there might be a way to fix it throughout the training, and we can play it by ear, see how it goes. But yeah, okay. So, um, anything else you should know about Blue?
Um,
Because it sounds like your case is super easy.
yeah, like I said, he's overall, I really don't have a lot to complain about.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I have a lot of dogs in my neighborhood because I'm in the South Loop. There's literally dogs everywhere.
mhm.
So I mean, just like making sure that I mean, he doesn't really lunge at other dogs, but I kind of like if a dog gets too close, he does like go for a play. And I know he can get very overstimulated very easily, and I get so scared that he's gonna get into a fight, so I just keep him away.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything you're doing now sounds you're making the right choices of like declining people's offer to kind of pet your dog. I don't think you're being an asshole. I think you're just, I think you're being responsible in that way. If Jesse Will would say, if someone wants to pet your dog, just tell them to get their own dog, to pet, right? So we're very like, please don't touch my dog, or like if we've seen an off leash dog running towards us, we'll do anything and everything to get that dog away from us. We don't care if they're social or more worried about like our dog if they're gonna like it. Uh,
Mhm.
we've had a lot of incidents where like a lot of off leash dogs will run at us during pack walks when we're walking with more than one dog, or if we're training at Oz Park, where there's a lot of off leash dogs. Um, but yeah, like I said, it sounds very simple, very easy. Um, all he needs is just discipline and what's it called? A job for this walks, right? He has no job, so he's kind of like all over the place a little bit, right? It might also just fix the potty itself, though, if like the way our program works with e-collar. Um, if you were to have everything you'd want with Blue, right? Let's say he stopped pulling, he stopped the jumping and excited behavior, and the potty as well. What would life look like? Would you take him to like patio restaurants, or like do you just go for the simple walk?
No,
And
I actually want to do like more outdoor stuff with him. Um, like I generally like to go hiking and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I could take him to a patio, but like I probably wouldn't.
Because
It's generally just more like outdoor stuff. That's really what I want to do with Blue.
okay,
Um, until like I figure out how to, control like his pulling and stuff like that. It's a no for now.
okay, yeah, okay. And what do you want Blue on currently? I don't remember what he came in to daycare with. Was it a harness, a flat collar?
It was a flat collar.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay. And um, have you done a research on us? Do you know like how we use e-collars and prong collars?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, uh, for like dogs, dogs are very physical animals. They express their, I guess, emotions, or they're very reactive, right? Like something happens, they just react. They don't think about it, they can't help it. Dogs also don't think about yesterday, or like they don't think like today I'm not going to poop outside for mom. I'm going to be a good boy, right? They're animals, right? So we have positive only, right? Positive only is good for things we want to see. So like if you say sit and he sits, then you give food, right? It's bad for things that we were like correcting stuff like the jumping, right? it doesn't really connect to dogs. For some dogs where it's like, you know, if you don't jump you get this food, and but then sometimes they're so excited they don't even want the food, they're more focused on like the person they're with, right? So positive only has a very low ceiling, right? Doesn't work for all dogs, and if it does, it'll take years to kind of get to where you want to be with food only. Then you move on to prong collar, right? Prong collar is a good step forward because prong collar now allows you to correct blue. Prong collar is like the spiky collar.
Mhm.
um, when you pull on it, right, it closes, it tightens all the way. So it's like a quick bite, right? It's physical. So that's why they thrive on it. Dogs are physical animals. If blue was bothering an older dog, like in I guess in a dog park, right? If this dog is annoyed enough, he might snap at blue, right? Maybe like a quick bite. And then blue's like, okay, I don't do that to this dog. And he might just avoid the dog, or just like, you know, I'm gonna leave him alone, right? So that's what prong collar is. It mimics a dog bite so that he understands what we're wanting because it's his language, right? Sometimes prong collar isn't strong enough, especially for some pitties, since they're such an intense breed. You know, Jesse will say this to his clients as well. You know, if he hears a reactive pit, right, versus a reactive German Shepherd, he's expecting the pit bull to be more intense in whatever the issue is. Even just like playing ball, they're more intense, they have more drive, they're just more fun, right? But the German Shepherd is probably not that intense just because it's a German Shepherd, you know. So sometimes prong collar isn't enough for pitties, just because they're the intensity and they're so excited that if you give like a little leash pop with the prong, it might not be enough, right? Your strongest leash pop could be a 7 out of 10. And if he's at a 9 or like he's at a 10, you're never going to override the brain of excitement. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then if you're looking for the recall, right? Or if you wanted to be off leash trained, once you take the leash off, you've lost all control, right? Because you only have control when you're connected to the prong, right? So that's another issue with prong collar. Then we move on to e-collar. E-collar gets us to close to like 100 to 90% of off leash, or like, you know, reliable obedience, right? So once we take the leash off, we still have the remote. We're still able to talk to Blue with no leash. Um, have you ever been to a physical therapist?
No.
Physical therapists, they use a machine called like a TENS unit, right? They put it on like a torn muscle or something like that, and they contract the muscle to kind of work it, right? The way they use is, you know, they have levels as well. So they say, you know, tell me when it's too uncomfortable to the client. And once they get to a certain number, the client's like, okay, that's enough. They lower it 2 levels and they let the machine do its work. That same technology that's used on us as humans is used on the brand Dogtra and e-cars that we use, right? It's just a muscle contractor. It's electric, but it's not electricity. So it doesn't run through Blue's body. It doesn't shock him, right? Um, there are other brands out there. We like Dogtra. Other brands off Amazon like 30, $40. That's not good quality, right? They feel different. They have fewer numbers. So sometimes these collars have like 10 levels, right? Our brand has 127. Dogtra has 127, right? So think of the power outage of 10 and 127 equal, right? We just have so many more numbers to kind of be more specific to the personality of the dog, the breed, the size, and all these other factors, right? Issue with the 10 is, you know, if you're at a 5 and he's yelping, that means it's too much. 4, he's not listening, so that means it's too low. So then you're stuck there, right? For us, if 40 is too low, 50 is too high, we can just go to 45. We can be, you know, we have all that room and wiggle room to use for Blue. Like I said before, a physical therapist, they tell the client, let me know when it's too much, right? Same thing for dogs. Blue right now, I won't know his number, right? It could be 20, it could be 50, it could be 80. I don't know what it can be, right? It's just what he'll let us know what his number is. Does that make sense? Good. And then the e-collars are also waterproof. They're rechargeable. They have mile to a half mile range. Uh, the brand that the model you're going to get from Dogtra is, I know, but sometimes they have like this, like it's a big old box hanging. The one that you're going to have is like a more rounded, so it's more aesthetically pleasing. It's like more hidden. It's just like curving around the dog's neck, so it looks nicer. Um, any questions so far about the e-collar?
Um, no. I actually did a lot of research on that too. So.
Nice, good. Um, all trainers teach it differently. The way we teach it is we need to teach Blue how it turns on and how it turns off, and letting him know he's the one in control of the pressure when it goes on or off. Once he's figured that out, it's it's he's going to be, increase his confidence. He's going to understand what e-collar is before we go addressing behavior stuff like the jumping, and then the excitement, right? So the first command we teach him is called heel. Heel is like the walking command that will address the leash pulling. Um, the why the way we teach heel will also address him kind of seeing dogs and wanting to pull, right? Sometimes it goes away by itself. So the reason why is because the idea behind the way we teach heel is that the dog Blue is so focused on where you're going that he won't care about his environment, because he's like, I need to focus on mom, because we're giving him a job now, right? So sometimes owners who have dogs that are kind of like pulling and they're smelling and they're picking stuff on the ground, they're all over the place, right? They'll say, we go for an hour-long walk and we come home and he still has energy left, right? That's called overstimulation. E-collar will fix that as well if he has any type of overstimulation. If if you come home, he's still like all over the place or has a lot of energy. So that's where we address the leash pulling. The excitement and jumping can also, it might be addressed during the heel command. If he does get excited, it's just using the remote at that point, and the jumping as well, just correcting him. What else? Any questions so far?
No, not yet.
Okay. So were you looking at one-on-one, daycare and train, or like a board and train, or did you have a set idea already, or did you want me to talk about the programs, or?
Yeah, can you just go over what you got? Yeah, just go over them.
Yeah. So we have in person, which is one-on-one. We operate at Oz Park. Have you ever heard of Oz Park or been there?
No.
Oz Park might be near you. It's in the city. It's the busiest park in Chicago. It's just baseball games, bikes, rollerblades, off-leash dogs, everything is there. So if you're able to train Blue at Oz Park, I'm pretty sure you can train him anywhere. One-on-one. So for example, we meet on like a Sunday at 1 p.m. for whatever program you choose. So we have the 6-week, the 9-week, and the 12-week program. The 6-week is you walk Blue, and then you take him to the dog parking, then you call him, and then you go home. The 9-week is you walk Blue like around the city. You need recall to call him back from like a dog park, or maybe like an open field. And then you also go to patios, and then you need stationary control. So like if you say down, he shouldn't move. And if he has to stay down for like an hour or 2 hours, he's still not allowed to move. The 12-week program is for that off-leash hiking. We just give you more like emergency commands. So if you say, down, and he's over there, he should just drop down. It's more advanced. So it'd be like a Sunday, 1 p.m. If you choose the 9-week, let's say, it'd be 10 Sundays at 1 p.m., right? That 10th Sunday is in case you need to cancel, right? Because, life happens, right? Or if it rains, you still have a slot waiting, right, available for you that no one can take away. Once you use that extra slot, then you'll have to wait for more availability to get back on the calendar. Pros and cons for in-person. Cons, it takes longer. We give you a topic a week to practice just so we don't overload you with information. Pros, you're doing it all yourself. It's all verbal instructions. We don't touch the dog. You're doing all the work yourself. So then you're learning how to troubleshoot with the e-collar. You're seeing how Blue's taking it for the first time. You're doing all the work yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about the in-person? And we also do in-home as well, not just Oz Park.
Okay, so essentially, it's me.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Anything else about the in-person?
Mm-mm.
Good. So then we move on to daycare and train. Daycare and train is you drop Blue off for a regular day of daycare. For the training, and then we just train him, right? We usually teach everything either the first day or the first 2 days. All commands are taught. He's got the foundation, and then we just work with him from there. everything is filmed the moment we put the e-collar on for the first time, right? So you're seeing how he takes to e-collar, you're seeing how we teach all these commands, how to practice them, how we advance, and how he kind of overcomes his his struggles, right? Because e-collar is a stressor, right? No one likes getting disciplined. So maybe when we start e-collar training, maybe he gets a little anxious, and we just teach you how to work through that, and then you can also see him kind of overcome his anxiety with the e-collar, right? Everything is filmed. Um, we go by bundles, so it goes 5, 10, 15, 20. You'll be in more like the 15, 10 day range. Um, you get, you know, 10 days. You don't need to come on certain days. So let's say we might give you like certain days to come in so that we just don't get a whole bunch of daycare trainings in one day, just kind of spread them out, you know? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you don't come a Wednesday, you still have that day because you bought the bundle. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
After everything is done film, everything's on film and uploaded to YouTube, you get to watch it. And then once you watch everything, you can practice, right? And this could be in the middle of your program. Then we can schedule a follow-up lesson. You know, we meet at Oz Park and then, you know, like how's everything going? And then sometimes owners don't practice and they wait till the follow-up to practice because sometimes they feel uncomfortable doing it before they, you know, they want someone there to help them, right? We can do that as well. So it's just the only difference is he has a foundation already, so there's not too much work being put into it on the follow-ups. So we do get one-on-one time during the daycare and train. Depending on which program, you get certain amount of hours. So I think the 10 day you get 4 hours of follow up time. Um, and then he gets to play throughout the daycare and train. He does all the regular daycare stuff. Now we just include training. Any questions about the daycare and train?
No.
Pros and cons for the daycare and train. Pros, we get it done faster. Cons, at first, the training is tied to us, right? E-collar is very transferable. So if I'm doing a one-on-one in person with a couple, right? Partner number one goes first. They do all the hard work. Then they hand blue, let's say blue, for example. Then they hand blue off to partner number two. I mean, partner number two goes, it's super easy. It's like they didn't have to do anything, right? So econ is very transferable. So there's no issue of, blue listens to me when the trainer's here, but when the trainer leaves, blue doesn't listen. There's nothing like that, right? So if I press a button on 30, when you press a button on 30, it's the same thing. There's no like mom is stronger than dad type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. No, yeah, I remember I always noticed that like when he was in his original puppy class, he listened to the trainer we were with, but he did not listen to me. I mean, we eventually got it. We
Yeah.
eventually got it. But all I remember is that like he was always quick when he was with the trainer, but with me, he always like takes his time and he eventually gets it done. And so
Yeah.
that's like my biggest fear, like with the daycare and trainer. I'm just like, if someone else does it, is it gonna transfer to me or not?
Yeah. So it will transfer to you, just not right away. We just kind of have to let him like, walk you through everything, right? So there's no issue, there's no worry about it. We've never had that issue where Um, yeah, when you're here, it's all fine. The only time that issue does occur is when the owner isn't practicing the homework or doing anything correctly. That's like the owner's kind of deal if they don't do the homework. Those most important part with any program you choose is just to practice and doing the homework and then practicing the right way and doing like what we say with the training, right? So let's say blue is his number is ends up being like 90 or 80 one day, right? You have to do the 90 or 80, right? Because sometimes owners get uncomfortable because 90 out of 127, right? That's like a high number, right?
Mhm.
But to blue, it's nothing. It could be his number. So as long as you're able to practice correctly and then reinforce the commands and obedience we're teaching him, there should be no issue of like, trainers here, he listens, trainers gone, he doesn't listen. Does it make sense?
Mhm.
Good. Board and train. We have 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. You'd be more in like the um just depending on what you're wanting, like how much control you're wanting with blue. If you want the off leash hiking and everything, it's going to be like the 4-week board and train, where we teach everything and getting him to that off leash life. Like the daycare train, everything is filmed. We get it done faster. He gets to play. We take him on training walks. We can take him to Home Depot, PetSmart, because if it's good, he's doing the training here, right? But it doesn't matter if it's not like um, real life obedience, in the real world, right? Uh, what else? Board and train might be a little difficult for us just because, well, we can just see how he does with the potty stuff. But he might have accidents throughout the night, maybe for his first few nights. I can imagine um, maybe we start the e-collar training, maybe that just doesn't happen, or maybe like once he gets acclimated, right? Because he's not acclimated yet, because he's only been here 2 days or one. He's only been here one day, right?
He finished eval, so
Oh,
it's
he
been
finished.
3
Okay.
weeks.
Okay. So like I said, he's probably not fully acclimated, so he might still have potty mistakes and other things like that. He never tried breaking out the crate or anything. It was just the potty stuff.
No, he doesn't break out of the crate. I feel like he just, once the door closes, he accepts his fate.
Yeah. Um, any questions about the programs?
No, I think I really like the in-person one, just
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of see myself getting another dog in the future, maybe. So I kind of want to see how the training works.
Yeah, so like yeah, here and there an owner will do the in person, and then like they know what to do now, and then when they get another dog, they kind of have already a general idea of like I've done this before all myself, with verbal instruction, so I know what to kind of do, and everything's recorded, right? So like say you do get another dog, you can be like, okay, I need to like kind of get reminded what we did that first session. You can just type in Jesus San Miguel, which is the username of the YouTube channel, the owner of the company, Jesus San Miguel, blue lesson 1, and then your video should pop up. um, but yeah, I agree, in person is very good because like I said, and like you said, you're doing all the work yourself. We don't touch the dog. Any other questions?
Um, oh, okay. So like, say like, um, I know there's like the different weeks. I'm also in the middle of like moving jobs, so I might be moving states. So if I like is so if someone did like the 9 week, but can they be like, okay, we're at 9 weeks. Can they like extend it to the 12 week?
Yes, like you want to add classes, right?
Yeah, like you get to about 8 weeks and you're just like, all right, like I want to add those extra classes. Can you do
Yes.
that?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Then
it'd be 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'd be like the 9, you buy the 9, because we also have a 3-week program. You would just buy the 3-week program like together, and then you have the additional up to 12. Does it make sense?
okay, okay, yeah,
Um, and then you said you're moving states.
I might be moving states. So I might be. I'm just waiting to see. I'm waiting to get word back, but that's not until like October. But
Oh, okay.
well, nah, that's not until September actually. So I got time, but like not really.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, you can definitely add classes. That won't be an issue for you. You can also save classes. Let's say you end up buying 3 more, and then we get to like 11, and you're like everything's going really good, no issues. You can save that class to like when you need it. So let's say you save it, and then when you're about to leave states, right? Let's have one more class just to review everything before I leave.
Hmm.
Makes sense. You can do that as well. Um, any other questions?
No, I think you pretty much answered all my questions.
Okay. After this consultation, I'll send you a follow-up email with the programs we talked about. So you're leaning more towards like the 9 week, or do you want me to just have 6, 9, 12 all for you so you can see the prices laid out for you, or?
Uh, Probably the 9 week, and then I'll extend just depending on what I hear.
Okay.
But yeah, probably the 9 week.
Okay, so I'll send you the 9 week and then a 3 week as well, just so you can see the prices. Like, if we do the 9, how much is that? And then if we do the 3 week, how much would that be cost wise?
Mhm,
This consultation will be credited towards your program.
mhm,
So I'll send you, it goes, programs we talked about, right? With the prices. Below that is a, um, what's it called? Play, a pay plan thing where how it would work. So for example, it goes half down before the first class, and then the next half is split into two before certain classes throughout the program.
mhm.
After that, I have the collar I recommend for Blue. How how old is Blue?
He's 8 months today, actually.
And then how much does he weigh right as of now? Do you know? Or like an idea?
I know he's at least 30 pounds. He just went to the vet a couple weeks ago, and I think he was 30 pounds then.
Okay, so okay, at least 30 pounds. Okay, so how big do you expect him to get? Like, do you know, is he from a breeder or?
I don't think his paws are not that big. He's 8 months right now, and he's pretty small. So I don't think he's gonna get very big.
Okay. Okay, just so I know what kind of collar to get for him.
Like,
So I'll also send you the information for the collar, a link to Amazon if you want to purchase off Amazon, or you can purchase from us. It's the same price and everything. If you purchase through Amazon, you get it, before the first class. Let's say you can fiddle around with it, get used to it, get familiar with it.
mhm.
At first class, you have like a general idea of how the buttons work and the functions and everything. Um, then below that will be a liability agreement form that needs to be signed. Once that's signed, um, we can begin billing and booking. So you'll send me your availability and I work with your availability. Um, and like I said, yeah, then we can begin booking and billing. What else? Any questions?
um, my God, I forgot. No. Oh yes. Can you send me the foods that you mentioned
Oh yeah, yeah.
here? Yeah.
Okay. Trying to see if I missed anything. Oh, some common questions owners have with the e-collars. You know, will I need to have it on my dog forever, or like, does it come off at a certain time, right? It's on when you need it. So if you're gonna go for walks, it will be on just because we can't predict what's gonna happen on this walk, right? So you live in the South Loop, right? So you're by a lot of busy streets. So let's say you're walking by a busy street and a car crash happens, right? Sometimes when that surprises like that happens, dogs go into flight mode because they're like, whoa, what was that? Let me just go, let me just run, right? Because when dogs are in flight mode, they're literally thinking kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say car crash happens, catches you off guard, catches Blue off guard, but then like Blue runs and like you're not expecting it, and like let's say you get like pulled down to the ground, or like leash slips out your hand, or maybe he breaks the collar, like the flat collar, and runs away, right? Blue right, won't make him come back at that point. It's just overriding the mindset of flight mode, right? And that requires power with the collar, right? So then you have the e-collar in case something like that happens, right? In the home, let's say he's an angel, then you don't need the e-collar. In the crate, since he's quiet and he just, is sleeping, you don't need the e-collar on. Let's say your roommate comes home and he always gets excited when she comes home, she or he, sorry. And let's say Blue, oh, it gets super jumpy when they arrive, right? You'd call him up 20 minutes prior, address whatever that needs to be addressed. And then if you find that he is settled throughout the whole rest of the day, once you've corrected him in the beginning, then you can take the e-collar off. Does all that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Another question is, how come when I take the e-collar off, Blue goes back to jumping? It's called, we like to use an example with the clients in our sessions is do you drive on the highway or the expressway highway, whatever? Do you go the speed limit?
No.
And then what happens when you see a squad car?
Step on the brakes.
Yes. It's just called opportunistic behavior, right? When we can get away with something, right, we'll get away with it. So if there's no squad car, we're immediately going back to speeding, going 80 miles per hour, whatever, right? So same thing with dogs. Jesse likes to call the cop on a collar, right? Opportunistic behavior, it's a nature thing, has nothing to do with the training, has nothing to do with the tool, has nothing to do with the way if you're practicing at home. It's just nature, right? Like I said, if we can get away with something, we're going to get away with it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. One extra thing I forgot was
Yeah.
I feel like one behavior I don't really know how to help him out with is when you put a collar on him, he will scratch it until kingdom come. I tried like keeping a collar on him 24/7 just so we can like, get used to the feeling. But even on walks, like he will walk and scratch.
Okay.
So I just I don't know. I've actually had tried like, you know, um I had been using a prong on him, but I switched to a slip lead only because when he scratches, he like the prong
Yeah, turns.
with his foot, and so my leash turns. Um, and so yeah, I really don't know like how that works in regards to the e-collar because I know if I put something extra on his neck, he's gonna scratch at it.
Mhm. Yeah, that can be fixed throughout the program. We'll address that.
Okay.
Um, does he have like does he have skin reactions to the prong collar, or like have you noticed any skin issues with the collars on or nothing?
No, it's with all types of collars, like even with his flat collar. Like
Okay.
he would just scratch. He's been doing that ever since I put a collar on him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll play it by ear, but I'm pretty sure that can be addressed throughout the training. Um, Anything else I missed, or any other questions you had about e-collar, the program, or even daycare?
Um, no. Wait, let me look at my notes just to make sure.
Yeah.
Um, no, I pretty much mentioned everything. You kind of addressed everything.
Hmm.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. If there's nothing else, or if a question comes up later, feel free to email me. Other than that, keep an eye out for that follow-up email. I'll also include some foods that we recommend for Blue. Does he have any allergies? Do you know of?
No, not that I know of so far.
Okay. I can also, if you're trying to really focus on diet, put you in contact with our food nutritionist, Maddie. Um,
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have a like a 30-minute consultation with her, just talk about diet and everything. If you rather do that, to dive more into because she can, we can only do so much of like, these foods are good, right? But then she can go into more like, tell me about your dog, like the weight and what he's eaten so far, and then give you like a specific brand that like this will probably be best for him, you know and also she does like your well, how much you're willing to spend on food, or like what's realistic for his whole life, right? Sometimes raw food isn't realistic for some owners, like they don't want to spend all that money throughout the whole dog's life, so there's other options for you that are very similar but also more like cost effective and everything like that. So if you're interested in that as well, I can put you in contact with Maddie. I'll send you like a link to kind of set up a consultation with her if you ever do decide to um, if you want to talk with her.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Cool. Like I said, keep an eye for that follow-up email. If there's nothing else, Joanna, it was very nice speaking with you. And we hope to see Blue soon as well. And then other than that, we'll keep in touch.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.